What is up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Left to Metal. It's time for Rock Metal Update. That's right. It's time for Rock Metal Update. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I have got a huge stack of vinyl to show, but I'm going to just show 10 for now. Mostly new releases and a few re-releases and some other stuff, but a lot of new stuff in this package. But first of all, I want to get right into it. I'm going to show a couple Christmas items that I received. This is my daughter gave me this on Christmas Day. This is the reissue of Alice Cooper's Last Temptation. Absolutely one of my favorite albums from Alice Cooper. First of all, it's a concept album, great storyline, and the music on here is just brilliant. I love the entire thing. I have since it came out. I have the original CD. I have the one that comes with the comic book. Just one of my favorite Alice Cooper albums. And of course, if you guys have watched my channel for any period of time, you know that I'm a big Alice Cooper fan to begin with. So this one's been missing for a long time. So very cool that she went into my Amazon want list and scored that for me. As well. Three albums from King's X that had never been released on vinyl before, or were released on vinyl from Metal Blade, I believe. One of them being Dogman. I absolutely love Dogman. Actually, I love anything by King's X, but she scored this album for me. This is a double album, I believe. I haven't opened it yet. As you can see, it's still sealed. Like I said, this is the day after Christmas, so it's 12/26, and I got this on the 25th, so I haven't even been home long to listen to it yet, but absolutely thrilled to have this again from my daughter for Christmas. So very cool. This is a brand new release. Fantastic. Kind of goes right along with the King's X I just showed, but this is the Galactic Cowboys. Similar style of music, you know. And this goes back to the original sound of the band on those first two albums. It's the same original members that were on those early albums. This is actually a gift from Angel Gonzalez, a friend of mine on Facebook, and basically a Christmas present. And I've heard this one several times since I've received it. It is fantastic. Definitely return to form. Not that they ever really, did a bad album, but if you like that early Galactic Cowboys album, this one fits right in. Gatefold album, 2 record sets, just fantastic. Lyrically, it's got those, Beatle-esque style vocal harmonies, as people call them. The heavy riffing, just a hair of punk, but mostly just that heavy groove, heavy metal. It's just very good stuff. Galactic Cowboys, another one of my favorite bands. The 90s, King's X and Galactic Cowboys both rank high as far as 90s bands that I like, which is unfortunate that neither one of them really saw the success that bands like Alice in Chains saw, because I think they're just as good, and some people may disagree with me, but just my opinion. Another brand new release, 2017. This is the brand new Fireball Ministry. These guys have been absent for a long time. Came scorching back with this killer Doom stoner record. I'd say it's more stoner than Doom, but just great, heavy, big 70s vibe. Exactly what you expect from this band. Still has most of the original most of the same members. They do have a new bass player. Let's see if I can see if there's a picture. I can't remember now. Yeah, there they are. So there you got James Rhoda, as always. You've got Scott Reeder on bass, who is the new guy in the band, and you've got where is it? Emily Burton. There's Emily Burton on guitar, and then the same drummer they've had forever, John Orshnick. These guys are great. I've seen them in concert several times. Met them. Really cool guys. Hoping they're going to tour on this one and maybe do a club tour. I'd love to see them on another club tour. I think I have a video showing off a poster that got signed by them with a little story about when I met them. So if I remember, I'll put a link of that above here so you can check it out. It's a pretty funny story. So this one's very cool. This is actually a 12-inch single, brand new release from Helix. 2 songs. The Devil is Having a Party Tonight. Is that what it's called? Devil is Having a Party Tonight. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to pull this one out just to show you, because the vinyl itself. First of all, here's the front cover and the back cover, and yes, I know it's cheesy looking. Obviously, when you're going to write a song called "The Devil Is Having a Party Tonight," and you're kind of known for like a party band like Helix are, Yeah, it fits. But here's your inner sleeve, which is autographed by the whole band. This was not a they pre-ordered it. I either pre-ordered it or a Kickstarter, one of those kind of things. But yeah, band photos, and the backside has some lyrics and stuff like that. Credits. And anyhow, the second song is the Tequila song. Both songs are on one side, and the reason for that is it's on a red vinyl with a custom centering. But I'm not sure how well it's going to show on the video, but if you look closely at the vinyl, you can see the little devil dude through the vinyl. Hair. And it's actually screen printed on the back of the vinyl here. So on the translucent red, it shows through as you're playing the record, and that's what it looks like. So it's a pretty cool little collectible. It was a bit pricey, but you know, I'm a big Helix fan, as you guys probably know. So I jumped on board this one as well. Singer Brian Vollmer also released a solo album that I'd also like to get. I did not get that one because I just didn't have the money to do both at the time. So yeah, anyhow, Helix, The Devil is Having a Party Night. Musically, exactly what you would expect from Helix. Just straightforward, heavy party rock. I would have called it heavy metal in the 80s. I'm guessing people would not call it that today, but whatever. To me, it's metal, so there you go. Brand new album by new wave of traditional heavy metal band Screamer. Kind of getting tired of the labels. They're just basically heavy metal band. Hell Machine is the name of the album. Like the simplicity of the cover. Straightforward, flat graphics. Very cool. Yeah, just a solid album. This is, matter of fact, this will be in my top 10 for this year because it's just one of those I keep spinning and spinning and loving it more each time I do. I have some other Screamer records, and so far this is my favorite by them. I'm kind of curious if some of the other guys I've seen show this record, like Greeno and LJ, if you guys, if you think this is one of their best albums, because I honestly do. I think it's fantastic. One of these guys, the guitar player, I don't remember his name. He was in the VC years and years ago, before I had joined 3-4 years ago, I guess. He used to be a VC member showing off vinyl. I don't think he does any longer, but he actually sent copies to Greeno and LJ to review when the album first came out. So, fantastic record from them as well. This is a brand new release from Ram. Now, this one's debatable. People call them new wave traditional metal. Some people say they were before that time. And whatever. They do have been around for, you know, over a decade now, I believe. Yeah. And they have 6, 7, 8 albums. I can't remember. I have them all. This is the newest album. Very good release from them. The entire second side is one song. It's broken up into many parts, kind of like, you know, Venom did with A War with Satan kind of thing. But anyway, Ramrod the Destroyer is the name of the song. And, man, these things sure take fingerprints bad. But anyhow, it's exactly what we expect from Ram. It kind of has the, you know, the classic heavy metal, dual guitars, has that, you know, Merciful Fate, King Diamond influence. Not a clone whatsoever. Ram has their own sound. I'm not sure I'm going to say this is their best album. They have a lot of good albums, and I think this might be a step down from the last one, Subversivism, but it's still a great record from them, and definitely will be in another one who most likely will be in my top, I don't know, whatever it is, of 2017. So this is actually a U.S. pressing, 70 of 100 on they say orange vinyl, but it kind of looks yellow to me. Translucent orange vinyl. I'm not sure why they only press 100 in the U.S. I guess their popularity here is not as it is in the rest of the world, but there's copies available from, you know, other places, and it's just not orange, I guess. There's all different styles and colors of vinyl and all that kind of stuff, so it doesn't really matter. You can get it even if you don't get this particular version on Metal Blade Records. Next up, this is another brand new album, brand new release from Rose. I don't know if anybody remembers Rose or not. It was a band from the 90s, featured Randy Rose from Mad at the World. His first 2 albums were kind of stone doomer rock. Really cool stuff. I loved his second album. And then he put out an album as part of the Intense Live series, another video I had done. And the song All My Knees on the album is just brilliant. I love that song. Anyhow, after that he did an album called, I think it was called Crazy Little World. And he kind of went more for an alternative sound. And I have the album, but it's really not my thing. I really prefer the first 2 albums. And then he did another album after that, and he kind of returned to a darker, heavier side. This album is very, very different from anything he's done before. There is a little bit of that doom stoner mixed in, but this is a very, very dark record. When I first got it, I listened to it a lot. I think it's musically brilliant. I think the vocals are fantastic. Some of the vocals on here aren't Randy. He's got a singer on here who I would swear was the reincarnation of Freddie Mercury. He just sounds so good like that. And they kind of do that Queen style, you know, vocals where you have the layers of vocals with that, you know, those high-pitched Freddie Mercury style vocals. It's just, this is a great record. Snag this one before it's gone because it was a very limited pressing. It's independent release on Hindenburg Records. I think you can pick this up through Stone Groove Records, I think has them. Trog, Randy's site, he has some of these, I believe, on vinyl and on CD. I think actually Rock's Productions might have it as well. But anyhow, it's available on CD and vinyl. Like I said, a very dark subject matter. Very dark record, and I don't mean heavy. I'm not saying it's heavy metal. I'm not saying doom or death or any of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the subject matter. It's very dark and very heavy, and it comes through in the music, in my opinion. It's almost somber at times, but I really enjoyed it. So, brand new album from Rose, Songs for the Ritually Abused. If the title doesn't give away, that's what the album is about. This next one was another gift. This isn't actually not a repressing, it's an original pressing. A friend of mine, Jeff, gave me this, and the sticker's still on it from when he gave it to me. But this is the EP from Ram, Otherworldly Resurrection, Leatherface, which, yes, is a cover of Leatherface. Come on now, help me out here. I was just listening to it the other day, and I can't remember the stinking name of the band. That's ridiculous. Anyhow, Leatherface, which is a cover. Law's Rocket, thank you, and Rust and Paranoia. So this is 2007, I believe, EP, and he gave me a copy of this when I showed the other Rammer EP that I recently received. So I went nuts looking for an album that I found out came out in 2014, I believe it was, on Record Store Day. Yeah, Record Store Day 2014. This is a really cool, I guess it's a full-length album. But what it is, it was released in 2014, it was recorded in the early 2000s, and then never released. From what I've read online, and from what stories I've heard, the band recorded the album was pressed on red vinyl and black vinyl, and for whatever reason the covers were never pressed, the album was never released, most of the vinyl was trashed, but somehow they managed to hang on to 100 of the red vinyl copies. So what they did was they took this particular album right here, which I guess I had extra covers of, and let's see if I can get it out of here. Let's see if I can kind of get the light to shine in here, but you can see on the inside, maybe. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that, but basically what they did was they tore the covers apart, re-glued them together in reverse, so you can see there's flaps on the outside. You can actually see right here some glue and a little bit of a tear on there, but it's all glued down, and they all look like this. They're all handmade, and then they're silk screened with the logo on one side, the record label from Canada on the other side, and they're hand numbered. This one being 78 of only 100 made. Great thrash metal from Canada. Very cool story behind them, how they handmade the covers, and there's only 100 copies out there. Did come with an insert that sort of tells the story. The album Rammer Siege of Madness was recorded in the mid-2000s, and after an unrestful slumber only managed to escape the schizoid record crypt in time for 2014 Record Store Day in a limited pressing of 100. Rest in peace, Rammer. But yeah, you can see the track listing down there, and then here's the vinyl itself. It is on, like I said, red vinyl. Kind of has a black swirl in it. So I'm very glad to have found a copy of that. Not only did I find one, my buddy Bill Bafford also found one at the same time for decent prices for the both of them. So I guess they're getting pretty scarce if they're not already impossible to find. With only 100 of them, yeah, they're not going to be around for long. All right, let's do 3 or 4 more here real quick. So how long has this video been? 14 minutes. All right, let's see if we can keep it at 20. And this is the release of Dangerous Toys. Pissed. Love Dangerous Toys, man. I just always have. Saw them on a small club on their first tour, and I've just been a fan ever since. It's like if Aerosmith had been born out of Texas instead of Boston in the 80s. This is what you're going to get with Dangerous Toys. This particular album moves away from the sound of the first 2 albums and is a little heavier, a little more well, a little more angry, pissed. They were not happy with how they were being treated with their record label. They were not happy with the way the band was not being promoted properly. So this is an album that was released on CD only originally. So this is the first time it's ever been released on vinyl. Super glad to finally have this on vinyl. And I have their first album, I have this album, I still need to find their second album on vinyl. So I love their first 3 albums, and this is being the third. Great stuff. It is a gatefold. I guess I could show that real quick. Here's the front cover without the hype sticker on it. The picture sleeve, which I've removed the record from. Gatefold, picture of the band, and the logo on the other side. And the back cover. Not a whole lot of graphics going on here. They could have probably kept this at a single. And then the record is really pretty. It's kind of about orange and green and gray, swirl, splatter. Very cool. Custom center rings, obviously. Every time I pull this thing out, I don't know if it's the color or what it is, but it always looks warped to me, but it's not. I just think it's that weird swirl color, that splatter color makes it look like that to me. Anyhow, Dangerous Toys Pissed for the first time on vinyl, released in 2017. Great album. I'm not sure what the, if it was limited or how many there were, but I actually pre-ordered this one because I wanted to make sure I got one. That was months ago, so it's goes to show how long it's been since I've done a video like this. Same with this one. Another one that I, have had for a couple months now. Excuse me. This comes from Sound Mass out of Australia, and Row Productions out of Australia. This is 2017 reissue of 1995 album Blood World from Mortification. A slightly updated cover from the original, very close to this. I kind of like this cover better than the original. It's front and back is a little bit nicer than the original was, and I kind of like the fact that when these reissues come out, I mean, you guys know I do those myself. I like that they're updated. Who wants the exact same thing that you already have? I mean, it should be updated. The sound is upgraded, the graphics are updated, and it's still got the same vibe. It's still got the same feel to it, but it's just better. So that's exactly what you're going to get here. It returns to the original Mortification logo, which the Nuclear Blast original did have this logo on it. It was just over here in white. It was centered on the Intense Records version, but it had a different logo. So, anyhow. This was a stylistic change for Mortification. They moved away from death metal, though there was a little bit of that still left on here. Moved them towards a little bit more of almost a hardcore sound at times. A little bit of thrash, a little bit of metal. It's just heavy metal, and it's got a lot of influences to it. If you're expecting death metal, though, you're going to be disappointed. The one song that is on here, Symbiosis, was on the live album that preceded this album, so that's definitely it's kind of a death groove song. I particularly love Mortification and love this album. This is actually on this tour in 1995. Ultimatum opened up for them for the first time, and that's when I became friends with Steve Rose. So, Mortification, Blood World, 18 minutes. Gotta fly, gotta move. So I can show a couple more. I was so glad to find this one. I have the first album, I have the third album. This is the second album from Spellcaster. Again, new wave traditional heavy metal from USA. I believe it's from California. This band no longer exists, which is unfortunate because all 3 albums are fantastic. I particularly think this was their best album. I don't know if it's because it's newer than the other 2, but it's just a fantastic record. Unfortunately, it was pressed on the now defunct Heavy Artillery Records, which anything on the Heavy Artillery Records label seems to be difficult to find these days. So this is Under the Spell from Spellcaster. This is an original pressing. From when was this? 2000 something or other, 7 I think it was. I don't see a year on here, but anyhow, Heavy Artillery Records, Under the Spell, Spellcaster, and let's squeeze in one more before I run out of time. This is
Death, Individual Thought Patterns.
I love this record. You can call it death metal all you want. To me, it's just really technical thrash metal. It basically made up of a supergroup on this album. You had Gene Hoglan on drums, who of course was originally from Dark Angel, who's played in Testament and numerous other bands. And then you had what's his name? I can't remember his name now. I always do that when I get in front of a camera. I become stupid and forget everything. Let's see if the picture's in here. I'm sure it is. Yeah, there it is. So then you got Andy LaRocque on lead guitar. Andy, of course, played in King Diamond for years and probably still does. And then Steve DiGiorgio on bass guitar. Steve DiGiorgio, who played with Sadist. It's just a super group, and the album is fantastic. This reissue comes with a cool 4-page little 12x12 booklet with photos and lyrics and thank you lists and liner notes from, I believe it's from Gene Hoglan, and kind of tells stories about it. It talks about the fact that Andy LaRocque played on the album, but as of writing these notes, he still had not ever met him, which is kind of interesting. So he did not do the tour for the album at all. He just played on the album itself. And black vinyl, I stuck to the black vinyl for all these Death reissues. It did come in a... it came in... No, it didn't. It came in a white sleeve. I replaced the sleeve, but it does have a red foil embossed cover. They just did these reissues right. So I'm really happy with this one. I think I do now have all Death's catalog on vinyl and CD, including some of the more obscure stuff that they put out on CD. So that's it. That's my update for December and into January of 2018. I do have a bunch more stuff here, so I'll do another update in a week or two. A lot more vintage stuff that I got here, original pressings that I'll show next. But I just wanted to show some of this new stuff that I've received in the last couple months from 2017, because a lot of it's going to end up popping up in my my 2017 top list. So there you go. Appreciate y'all watching. Have an awesome new year. Really do appreciate all my subscribers and all those people who leave messages for me and chat with me back and forth on YouTube and on Facebook, and just those people who, even the people who just say, love the video, thanks Scott. Glenn Davison, every video I do, he's always there, and he always leaves a little short comment thanking me for doing the video. So I just appreciate guys like that. So that's it. Again, have a great new year. God bless. Stay strong.